What's going on, everyone? It's Adam McCraig with Grandstand Golf. This is our PGA DFS sleeper for the Palmetto Championship at Congaree.
You almost tripped up there.
I almost tripped up, but that's 2 for 2. We're calling that 2 for 2 for our shows. Looking back at the Memorial, I am still ice cold. I mean, with my sleepers, Craig. So if you're watching, maybe just take a peek back at our shows and follow Craig's picks this week until I kind of turn it around. I'm in a slump, baby.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is the one that I felt like Henley was rock solid. I mean, I guess you did too, because you had pretty good ownership on him. He was my third sleeper, the one who didn't make the cut. But yeah, both Streelman and Noren definitely paid off value-wise, I think.
Yeah, both T15s, gotta like that. Justin McDonald in our comments went with Aaron Wise, one pick, T9, great pick by Justin McDonald. So again, like every show, let us know favorite play under 7,500 on DraftKings this week for Congaree. It is an interesting selection of players, Craig.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, if you watch our pick show before this one, Craig's going stars and scrubs. So you gotta.
This is where it's gonna be made or broken right down here.
I like it. Follow us on Twitter at Grandstand Golf. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Are we jumping into it here?
Let's do it. You got to get off the schneid this week.
I do, and I'm going with EVR. Oh man, I don't know why. I keep going back to this guy. I can't quit. Erik van Rooyen, 7,500 on DraftKings, 34th there. Not a sleeper on FanDuel, really. 25th, 9,100. Again, our sleeper rule is under 7,500 on DraftKings. We haven't really seen EVR since his quote-unquote incident on the tee box at the PGA Championship, where he went a little bit crazy, smashing the tee box, letting out his frustration with how he was playing. But we saw him this Monday for USGA qualifier at that stacked, I think it was the stacked one in Columbus. He was first there, tied for first. Really, really good couple of rounds, 36 holes from EVR. That kind of seems to signal a little bit maybe he's turning a corner. Maybe that little incident at the PGA Championship was a wake-up call. Anyways, he's 7,500 on DraftKings for a field that's not the strongest. I feel like it's worth the risk for a few lineups for EVR. He's won all over the world. 2019 Scandinavian Masters in Sweden, 2017 Hainan Open in China, 2017 IVE Africa PGA in South Africa. That's what I'm looking for this. This is a brand new course. These guys that can pop up anywhere, kind of like you said for Pat Perez. They can pop up anywhere and they can win and they can contend. And that's what I think EVR can do. He's also, went to school in Minnesota. He's well-traveled and he's won across the world. Mm-hmm. In this field for the past 12 months, he does rank 21st in strokes gained total, plus 0.23. And just kind of the icing on the cake, he is kind of a bomber. He averages 301 yards off the tee, so he can push it out there. I think he does have a pretty complete game. But again, why I liked him PGA Championship as a sleeper, he plays tough courses pretty well. His record in major championships and WGCs is fairly good. And we're getting him at a sleeper price in a weaker field. So yeah, call me crazy. I'm going back.
Yeah, the price doesn't seem to make a ton of sense to me. We just got prices out within the last few minutes here for the U.S. Open, and I want to say he, don't quote me on it because I didn't actually take note, but I want to say he's 6,700 or 6,800. So the price difference is not that crazy considering how strong that field is and how weak this field is. So,
and maybe that's a lot of like the 36 holes on Monday qualifying is enough to do that.
Yeah. Although I guess, now that he has Monday qualified, make sure if you are going to play him, keep an eye on whether he decides he wants to play in this or not.
I checked his Instagram story. He has his Rolex on a private jet, or whatever fancy watch he has. He's on his way to South Carolina.
Yeah, okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, my first one here, I'm going with Nick Taylor, our good Canadian boy, 7,300 on DraftKings, 42nd there, 8,300 on FanDuel, 47th over there. This one just seems like a value to me. When you look at his strokes gained totals, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, all of those are less than his ranking in the field. So it just seems to me like, I guess maybe he doesn't have a ton of momentum right now. He hasn't really, popped to any top 10s in a while, but he's coming in with 3 straight made cuts. We're talking about a guy that's a 2-time PGA Tour winner, 11 top 10s. He's 33 years old. So it's not like, 11 top 10s for a 33-year-old that is priced at 7,300 in this field. That's pretty good, He does a decent job of getting top end results. Now, if you don't really know much about his game, he's a pretty balanced player. When you look at the numbers over the past 2 years, they're all, yeah, I think either approach or around the green is negative, but like within a tenth of a stroke.
Right.
But other than that, they're all positive. And driver and putter are the two best weapons. Both of those he gains just over a tenth of a stroke. Ranks 31st and 37th in this field respectively. So I just think this one, it doesn't seem like a super sexy sleeper pick where he kind of has huge upside. I think he has the upside. It's just there's not like you're not pointing to recent form or anything. It just seems like his long-term value is a little bit better than where they have him priced.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it felt like with Streelman and Noren last week, both of them top 15s, and that's what you want for. I mean, with a guy at this price, that could be not optimal lineup, but GPP winning type lineup. If the guy 7,300 can get a top 15 or a T13, right? So, yeah, I kind of agree. Kind of boring, but kind of makes sense and just a little bit undervalued.
Yeah, and I would say, oftentimes when you get guys that are really, you feel like are undervalued down in these price ranges, you expect ownership to be crazy. But I just think it's such a random week that I don't really expect ownership to concentrate in too many places.
Yeah.
Okay.
My second pick here, I'm dipping into the 6Ks. Tyler McCumber, 6,800 on DraftKings, 68th on FanDuel. He's 72nd, 7,600. First couple picks here, just like my beard bros that I want to go on a road trip with. McCumber, EVR seems like a good time.
Yeah.
No, I like McCumber for a few reasons. He's made 4 of his last 6 cuts. His last 2 events, one of which was actually a miscut. He has at least 0.93 strokes gain approach in the last 2 over that. So that just tells me that he's hitting the ball right now. He's kind of flushing it. Something with McCumber, especially, I feel like a streaky player. I want to see kind of, especially that strokes gain approach, trending in the right direction because he is kind of that strong tee to green game type guy, and he can go on runs for sure. Strokes gain totals per data golf. Last 3 months, he's 32nd. So screaming value there at just over positive. Last 6 months, he's 61st, kind of where he is priced. Maybe that's appropriate. And in the last 12 months, he's 83rd. But that's just showing that he's kind of playing better golf as we've gone along this season. Some are, 3 months out, some are 2 months out, some are 5 months out. But he's kind of playing better as the season has come along. He does push it out there for his size, especially. He's 16th in driving distance, 308 yards. That's in the entire PGA Tour. And he's a winner. He has 7 wins across North America. He's won, I think, 3 times in Canada, 3 times on the PGA Latino America Tour, once, I think, in the continental US. So another guy, plop him on a course, maybe a course that you haven't seen, averages, it kind of levels the playing field. And I think these guys that win across the world, like McCumber have a little bit of advantage because they've kind of seen a little bit of it all, not just guys that have had a steady PGA Tour career, maybe.
Yeah, I do think so. McCumber has definitely been on my radar with his showdown, like for showdowns, because he is one of these guys that does seem to pop off on rounds every once in a while. But the difficult thing has been, stringing that together with a few decent rounds to make sure at the end of the week you have good finishes. And so that would be my one thing where he does have a ton of potential. He has the potential to get top 10. We're not just talking about, his potential is maybe a top 20. So it's just going to be, can he put the 4 rounds together? I think that's the big question with McCumber.
That might just be good advice for my sleepers this week in general. Save them for showdown. Don't take the risk.
Yeah, some volatile plays so far, but
they're volatile.
I mean, that's all. First off, that's what you need to do to win GPPs. But second off, this field's just so wide open once you get past the first few that maybe volatile plays is a good way to go.
Yeah.
My next one here, I'm looking Brice Garnett. Again, maybe not as volatile, but I just think there's steady value here. We got 7,000 on DraftKings, 56th in pricing. He's 8,100 on FanDuel, 53rd in pricing. So you look at the numbers, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, all of them are positive, which in this field, that's good first off. But then the best we're looking at is 18th. The worst we're looking at is the 12-month average. He still ranks 27th in the field in strokes gained total. So to me, we're just this is the one that I had mentioned on our DFS pod as I don't know why. It seems like he wasn't priced up like some of the guys he has been priced around in recent weeks. So the actual results recently. The last 9 starts, he's got 3 missed cuts, so he does, it's not, you'd like to see a little bit better of a cut percentage in the last little bit, but, it's still at 6 of 9, so it's not the worst, but 2 top 10s in that time, including the 5th at Puerto Rico. I like to see that upside. The other one that is not included in those 9 starts, he was tied for 11th at the Zurich. So I think he's just been playing some good golf lately. In contrast to Nick Taylor, who's fairly balanced with the driver and the putter kind of being his best of a balanced skill set, Brice Garnett is much more skewed towards driver and putter. So he's better than Taylor with both of those. He gains 0.17 off the tee and 0.4 putting, which is good enough for 28th and 16th respectively. But his approach play and his around the green play is much worse. He does lose strokes typically, over the course of 2 years when it comes to those 2 areas. So I do think it's tough to know really what skill sets are going to be most favored, but I do think if you can have a driver and a putter, that's a good place for me to start. Yeah,
I mean, it seems like Brice Garnett, every time I've kind of slotted him in, he's done well for me. He's just kind of steady as they come. And I completely echo what you said. He just hasn't been priced up. It does seem a little bit bizarre, a little bit.
You would have thought he would move up into kind of the 76, 77 range, just based on people he has been priced around recently.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, my third and final pick. I'm going John Ha. 6,800 on DraftKings, 68th on FanDuel. Not as good a deal. 60th, 7,900 there. So kind of interesting. He's missed 3 cuts in a row. But if we look at the entire season, he has 5 top 25s on the PGA Tour season. So we're in 6,800 territory. We're not going to get everything here. It's kind of when we're talking about these Euro guys, we're not going to get everything here. His strokes gained total, though, when you look at the past 3 months, where complete opposite, of Tyler McCumber, where he's kind of coming up. Huz doing the exact opposite. He's kind of trailing off. But we're priced kind of where his worst average has been in the last 3 months, where he's ranked 70th in the field at minus 0.64, whereas DraftKings pricing is 68th. If we go back to 6 months, he's 34th already. He's 34th there. If we go the whole 12 months, the last year, he's actually 16th in the entire field in strokes gained total, plus 0.29. So I think possibly if you want to take the risk of a guy, not in good form, but has finished in PGA Tour events. I mean, he's priced around guys that spend most of the time in the Korn Ferry Tour or, playing on PGA Tour event for the first time. This is a guy that has collected 5 top 25s this season. The other thing, too, there's a little bit of a motivation factor, I think. So he's got 2 starts left on a major medical exemption. He's earned quite a bit of FedEx Cup points, but he does need 88 more points over the next 2 starts. In 1 start, that's 8th or better. So you got to think he's got to be making cuts and he's got to be getting a high finish. That we saw it with Chris Kirk early in the season. That can be a lot of motivation for these guys to kind of maybe just that extra motivation to bring their best stuff and get that high finish as they can. So I think it's worth a risk if you're looking for a guy that's too cheap and a little bit not in the best form.
Yeah, I think the other thing with the major medical is it makes them very selective. They're very conscious of when they're going to play because they need to make the most out of each start. So you have to think he likes this week. I mean, obviously it's a weaker field, so he sees the potential for this to be a week he can gain some points. I was on him when he was during his 5 top 25 stage. So I don't know whether I feel like I need to now support him that he's struggling and looking for this the major medical. But yeah, no, I do agree with you. I think the long-term value makes sense. It's just a matter of kind of, do you play this or do you play one of the young guns?
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of one of the young guns, my last pick here, and another guy I brought up on the pod, John Pack, 6,900 on DraftKings. He's 62nd in pricing, 7,700 on FanDuel. He's 68th over there. So you look at these strokes gain totals from Data Golf. When we're looking at this with him, for the most part, he does have the U.S. Open start, but for the most part, these are modified from the amateur, from the college numbers. But still, it kind of gives you an idea that over the last 6 months, he's been playing good enough that with those modifiers all taken into account, he is worth the price. So 2 years, he's losing about a half stroke. He's 72nd in this field. But when you look at 3 months, he's almost neutral in terms of a PGA Tour player, and which would be 40th in this field over that time. So to me, it's a guy on a pro debut. He's got huge upside. If you rattled off, he was your most interesting guy in the field on our preview. You rattled off sort of the awards he has won, basically the biggest awards in college golf. He's an 8-time winner at Florida State University. So it kind of checked all the boxes. I mean, aside from maybe winning a USM, he's checked all the boxes you can check as an amateur golfer. And it's really just going to remain to be seen what he can do at the pro level. He did have that one start at the U.S. Open. He was low am there. So that's the one where we do have some strokes gained numbers for him. He gained essentially about a half stroke, both off the tee and on approach. He was about a full stroke gain ball striking at the U.S. Open. Unfortunately, he gave almost that full stroke back putting. So we'll have to see if that becomes a little bit. He is one of these guys that, a world-class ball striker, but the putter can show up or not show up week to week. But, his play in the last 6 months has just been so good, so consistent, essentially top 10 every week in college. So I just think that I'm going to be taking the shots on the upside that he presents.
Yeah, going back last week, we had Bo Hoag as the most interesting man in the field. And then kind of as DFS came around, I completely forgot him in my player pools. And he had a great finish, a fantastic finish for his price. I don't think I can make the same mistake with John Pack. So even if I'm doing, a 3-entry max, I'll probably try to find one of him. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
I think the one thing, too, is that he is getting a lot of publicity. So his own, I say that I don't think ownership's going to concentrate in too many places. I think that may be one that does get a little bit higher ownership, but I'm still going to be on it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're going to change things up a little bit this week. I don't think we're going to have a live show on Wednesday. If you do want to chat about our pools, we're going to condense it a little bit this week, focus more on the U.S. Open happening next week. Prepare for that. If you want to talk to us about our pools, our plays, other plays we're making, join our Discord. Link is below. We're always there to chat. But I'm thinking no Wednesday live show. Is that right, Craig?
Yeah, I think that's what we're thinking.
Okay. And call your shot. As always, favorite sleeper, under 75 found out on DraftKings. Good luck this week. See you in the Discord. We'll see you in showdowns.
Yeah, good luck, guys. See you next time.